Cloud engineer or platform engineer, two roles that are very similar, pay very well, and are both in serious demand right now. But they're not the same thing, and picking the wrong one for where you are right now means that you're either going to be wasting time chasing something that you're not even ready for, or you're going to overlook a career path that you are ready to step into. I'm Suleiman. I've been in tech for more than 11 years. Sounds crazy when I say that. I run my own businesses across cloud and AI consulting, my software company StudyTech.ai, and my academy where I've helped more than 900 IT pros, engineers, and career switchers master cloud engineering and land six-figure roles, including at companies like AWS and Microsoft. In this video, I'm breaking down what each role actually involves, the skills that you need, and which one that I recommend depending on your specific situation. Cloud engineers build and manage the infrastructure that everything in technology runs on. Every application that we all use, like Netflix and Uber, needs somewhere to run. It needs servers, it needs databases, networking, and security, so only the right people and the systems can access the right things. A cloud engineer sets up all of that infrastructure, keeps it operating, and makes sure that it can handle whatever the business actually throws at it. And you do this working remotely from your laptop. You're not on site in a data center setting up cables like a network engineer, right? Who the hell wants to do that? Instead, you're writing files in a terminal or your IDE that describe an entire infrastructure environment. And then by running a single command, it actually goes and builds all of that infrastructure automatically. If you need to rebuild it, you can do the same command and you'll get the same result. Everything is repeatable, version controlled, and documented in the code itself. Now, on a day-to-day basis, you might be debugging why two services inside of an application can't even communicate, right? Maybe a security rule blocking the traffic. Maybe a network configuration is wrong. You figure out what's breaking the infrastructure and the system, and then you go and fix it. You could also be looking at a cloud bill that's exploded and realizing that the company is paying for servers way bigger than they need to be. Or you find servers that haven't been shutting down despite nobody using them, so you fix those and you save thousands of dollars per month. Or maybe you could be managing permissions, which means controlling what every person and every automated service in the environment is allowed to do. A junior developer needs access to a test environment, but shouldn't have access anywhere near the live systems that real customers are using. A lead engineer might need temporary access to debug something in production, but that access needs to be tracked, time limited, and automatically revoked when they are done. So you're constantly making sure that every account, every role, every permission is set up correctly and the permissions are actually justified. Or you could be working on a consulting project where you have to build a solution to the brief that you've been given by an architect or the business themselves, right? So you're building a solution that's solving their problems using cloud infrastructure. Now, the core skills that you need are AWS as your primary cloud platform, Terraform for writing infrastructure as code, deployment pipelines using GitHub Actions, Python and Bash for scripting, networking fundamentals, architecture and system design, and then security as well from day one. I actually think architecture is probably the most fundamental knowledge and the biggest skill set that you need in cloud engineering in 2026 and beyond. Because as time goes on, we will do a lot more thinking and solving problems architecturally. And then we have the agents in AI that will then go and do the actual implementation, but more on that later on. Now, in terms of the opportunity, the cloud computing market is projected to explode from $900 billion to over $5 trillion in the next decade. And when you consider the level of spend that big tech is doing right now in AI and cloud infrastructure, the market is even bigger than those numbers suggest. AWS has reported a global shortage of 6 million cloud professionals. So you've got a record spending and a massive shortage of professionals that are actually qualified with the right skills, which is why salary-wise, cloud engineers earn six figures quite easily, with seniors and specialists earning $200K to $300K plus. In fact, one of my students inside of my Cloud Engineering Academy is earning over $300,000 a year. And by the way, if you're serious about actually landing a six-figure cloud role in 2026, then just book a call with my team, link in the description below. We've got tons of results of people just like you changing their lives because the academy is built by someone who's been on the same journey as you. 6 years ago, I quit my job as a software engineer and went all in on cloud engineering because I saw what was on the horizon with cloud, and I've purposely built and then perfected the system over the years. And that's because I'm in the trenches every single day, building my own companies and consulting for startups. And I'm in the community every day as well. And that's why we are busier than ever before, because we never had this much demand for cloud before, because we are pumping out so much results. So if you've been self-studying for a while and you want to actually now land a cloud role and you're open to a new new approach of doing things, then just book a call with my team, link in the description below. Now let me explain platform engineering, because there's a lot of confusion around this one. A platform engineer builds and maintains the internal systems and tools that development teams use to get their code into production. Inside a big tech company, you've got hundreds, sometimes even thousands of developers writing code. Especially now in the AI era, you will also have agent friends, right? Agent colleagues. Every one of them needs to test their code, deploy to a live environment, and monitor whether it's working, and roll it back if something breaks, of course. Now, if every developer had to set all of that infrastructure up themselves manually every single time that they wanted to deploy, you would have 50 different teams doing it 50 different ways, right? Some will skip security because they're in a rush. Some will spin up servers for testing and then forget to shut them down. So then obviously the cloud bill quietly doubles. Some deploy in ways that break what another team has built. Now, in a lot of companies, that's exactly what's happening right now. A platform engineer solves that by building a standard internal platform that the entire company can use to deploy and operate software. Instead of every developer figuring out their own process to deploy software, right? You build automated pipelines, templates, and self-service workflows where code gets tested, it gets validated, and then it gets pushed to production through a standardized process. This is what people mean when they talk about golden paths. The goal is to create approved, secure, repeatable ways for developers to build, deploy, monitor, and scale applications without reinventing the wheel. Now, the developers will still own their code and their application, but the platform gives them the paved road for testing it, deploying it, monitoring it, securing it, and rolling it back if something obviously breaks. Now, you're also helping define and enforce the standards that the engineering organization will follow. For example, how environments get created, what security rules are enforced automatically, what gets logged and monitored, right? And you're building all of this on top of the cloud infrastructure using tools like Kubernetes, which manages how applications run in containers at scale, and Terraform, which manages infrastructure as code. Now, in terms of the skill set, you are quickly going to see why this isn't an entry-level role. You need deep cloud infrastructure knowledge, and that's not something that you can just develop overnight. You're building a platform that sits on top of AWS or Azure or GCP. So if you don't understand the infrastructure and how that works, then you can't build anything reliable on top of it. In many platform engineering roles, Kubernetes is a major skill set because a lot of internal platforms run on containers. When a company has hundreds of services running together, Kubernetes helps schedule those containers, restart them if they crash, and then scale them when traffic spikes. But a deeper point is understanding how to package, deploy, scale, secure, and observe applications reliably. A lot of buzzwords there, I know. Now, on top of that, you need infrastructure as code because you're building reusable templates that the entire engineering teams use to create their own environments across the whole organization. And then there is the part that surprises people. You also need a product mindset. The developers using your platform are actually your customers. You need to speak to them, gather their feedback, iterate, and measure how people are actually adopting your platform. The best platform teams operate like product teams with a roadmap and regular releases. And security has to be built into everything from the start because you're building the guardrails that the entire engineering organization operates within. And if you get that wrong, it can lead to data breaches, which we're seeing quite often right now with all of the leaks that are happening. Now, here is where this gets really interesting in 2026 and beyond. AI is creating more demand for cloud and infrastructure professionals than ever before. Think about what's happening right now. AI coding tools like Claude Code are letting engineers ship 10, 20, even 30 times per day, right? Non-technical people across the entire business are building tools and automations with AI. You've gone from maybe 20 people shipping stuff to over 200 people deploying things into production. All of that runs on cloud infrastructure. Now, all of it needs to be set up properly, secured, monitored, and cost managed. And all of that code being shipped at speed needs proper testing and deployment systems before it even goes live. That's the work. Whether your title is cloud engineer, platform engineer, DevOps engineer, SRE, it really doesn't matter. The underlying skill set that makes all of this possible is fundamentally cloud engineering. That's what unlocks every one of these roles. And by the way, AI shouldn't be a source of fear or anxiety for you here. If anything, it's the opposite. AI is a force multiplier. It makes you more of what you already are. If your fundamentals are solid and you understand what's happening under the hood, AI turns you into a machine. pardon the pun. You're solving problems faster, learning new tools faster, shipping infrastructure faster. A great engineer with AI is doing the work of 2 to 3 people while maintaining quality because they actually understand what they are building and the problems that they're solving. That's an incredibly strong position to be in. But if your foundations are weak, AI just helps you make bigger mistakes faster. Bad configurations, security holes, broken infrastructure, all shipped to production before anyone catches it. And that's why the fundamentals matter more now than ever before. AI doesn't replace the need to understand what you are doing. It just raises the ceiling for the people who do. So which one should you choose? If you're in a non-technical role looking to make the switch or you're early in your career, cloud engineering is obviously the answer. Right now, companies are hiring at the entry and mid-level. So even if you haven't worked in tech before, but you've got the skills and hands-on project on your portfolio, then you will be qualified for these roles. And the skills that you learn are the foundation for everything else in this space, including potentially platform engineering further down the line. Now, in comparison, platform engineering isn't entry level. You need deep expertise because you are in charge of designing systems that all of the other engineers will rely on. Just think about that logically for a moment. This obviously isn't going to be your first hands-on technical role. But if you're a software engineer or someone already working in tech for a few years, maybe you're even in cloud already, then platform engineering is definitely something within your scope. I've actually had quite a few of my students inside of my academy land platform engineering roles, and it's one of the roles that I recommend for those with prior tech experience after learning cloud with me. And if you're serious about landing a 6-figure cloud role in 2026, then just book a call with my team. Link in the description below. As always, I'm rooting for you and become undeniable.